All right, today we are diving into one of archaeology's biggest cold cases, the Indus Valley Script. For about a century now, we've been looking at these incredible, beautiful symbols with absolutely no idea what they mean. But what if we've been trying to read it all wrong? Let's get into it. So, for 5,000 years, the script on these thousands of tiny, intricate seals has been completely silent. Now think about that. This was a civilization that was every bit as sophisticated as ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia. And yet, while we can read their writing, this chapter of human history has just remained locked. The theory we're exploring here suggests a pretty radical shift. What if we stop trying to read this like a normal language, with grammar and sentences? And what if we start treating it like a specialized code, a kind of picture puzzle that was used for a very, very specific purpose? Okay, so first, let's just really appreciate the scale of this mystery. We're talking about the silent seals from a massive Bronze Age civilization. I mean, the Indus Valley civilization was huge. They had advanced cities, huge trade networks, and they left behind thousands of these seals. But the one thing they didn't leave behind was a Rosetta Stone. No bilingual text, not one single clue to get us started. That's the real puzzle here. An incredibly sophisticated society whose writing we just can't read. And just look at them. I mean, these aren't crude markings. They're detailed, miniature works of art. Each one shows animals and symbols with incredible precision. You can just feel they're trying to tell us something important. The question is, what? So what is the key? Well, this new theory suggests it's not about finding some new tablet buried in the ground. It's about seeing the symbols in a completely new way, seeing them as a picture puzzle. And this whole idea hinges on something called the rebus principle. It's a really clever kind of wordplay. Instead of reading the picture for what it is, you read it for what its name sounds like. You've seen this before, right? A picture of an eye, a heart, and the letter U. It's not about anatomy. It's about the sounds. I love you. The theory is the Indus people were doing something just like that. And this is a perfect example of how it might have worked. So you see a picture of a bull. In one of the ancient languages of the area, a word for bull was barad. Now, that sound, barad, is almost identical to barada, an ancient word for a mixed metal alloy. So get this, by carving a bull, you could actually be talking about metal. It's not about the animal at all, it's all about the sound. So if this rebus idea is right, what are these picture puzzles actually saying? Well, the theory argues it's the language of ancient metalworkers. Yeah, according to this idea, this isn't the script of kings or poets writing epics. This is a practical, almost industrial lexicon. It's the language of the forge, the workshop, the shipping manifest. It was created by metalworkers and traders to label their stuff and keep track of it all. And the system just keeps going from there. A picture of a bison sounds like a karana, which also meant smithy or forge. A bent sign, kutila, sounds like kutil, which was the word for bronze. Even the rim of a jar, karnika, sounds like karni, a scribe or an accountant. And all of a sudden, these random pictures start to form a whole vocabulary for industry and trade. You can actually see the glyphs themselves here. It's pretty amazing to think that a simple, curved sign might actually mean bronze, or that a little U shape that looks like the rim of a jar could represent the person keeping the books. It's just a brilliantly efficient visual shorthand. Okay, so we can decode individual symbols. That's cool. But can we read an entire seal? Let's try to put all the pieces together and read what might just be an ancient invoice. So let's go back to this first seal we looked at. For years, everybody just assumed the symbols above the bull were a name or a title. But if we use the rebus principle, the entire seal, animal included, becomes the message. And it transforms from a royal crest into a business record. So let's break it down, step by step. 1. The animal is a bison, bararna. That tells us the origin, a smithy. 2. Another word for the animal is barad, which sounds like barata or mixed metal alloy. So that's the product. 3. The symbols above it, like the rim of a jar, add the details. That tells us a karni or scribe is involved. So what's the full message? An official record of mixed metal goods from a smithy overseen by an accountant. It's basically a Bronze Age bill of lading. Now, this is a fantastic theory, right? But it's all internal. Is there any evidence on the outside to back it up? Well, this is where the story takes a truly incredible turn, connecting this ancient code to a 2,000-year-old echo. So the people who came up with this theory went looking for confirmation, and they found it in a completely different time and place, in Sangam literature. This is ancient Tamil poetry that was written down about 2,000 years ago, but it contains oral traditions that are much, much older. And this timeline really helps put it all in perspective. You can see iron tools showing up in the south of India right around the same time the Indus Script is emerging up in the north. But the key date here is around 2260 BCE. That's right in the middle of the Indus civilization's peak. Just keep that date in your head. And here it is, the potential smoking gun. This is a quote from that 2,000-year-old poem. It describes this ancient dynasty of rulers, and it says their ancestors ruled a city called Puvarai, a city that had huge walls that were made of copper. Copper walls. And here is the crucial link. The poem doesn't just mention copper forts. It actually traces the family line of these rulers back 49 generations. And if you do the math, that puts the start of their dynasty right around 2260 BCE. The exact time the Indus metal workers would have been thriving. It's as if this oral tradition, captured in a poem, actually preserved the memory of these incredibly powerful metallurgist kings. So, we're left with this absolutely stunning thought. Now, this theory is, of course, still being debated, but it presents this incredibly coherent system that seems to be backed up by a distant cultural memory. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Could a 2,000-year-old poem passed down through all those generations really hold the key to cracking a 5,000-year-old code? It's just a powerful reminder that sometimes the past speaks to us in the most unexpected ways.